Hello everybody, Flik here, welcome to Let's Chat, my weekly vlog series posted every Monday at lunchtime if you're in the UK, and yes, there's something on my head. I finally cleared out that thing over there. Also, I saw lag in the camera there, hang on, let me test that. That's fine. I cleared it out, it's a much cleaner now, and I found what I was looking for. A bit of Naruto cosplay I got given as a Christmas birthday gift, I can't quite remember. Years and years and years ago. Someone my age should definitely not be wearing this. I kind of want to take it off, but I get the feeling a lot of you will now be shouting no, leave it on. So, in order to celebrate hitting 35,000 subscribers, I will leave this nonsense on my head this once. Just this once. It looks stupid, it's also too small for my big head, but I'll leave it on. I don't even think it has a name. It's just a weird, it's got a face on it, it means nothing. But whatever, it also has teeth, that's what those are supposed to be right there. Anyway, yeah, sorry, I'm running a little bit late because, well, I was going to say amnesty, that's not the word I'm looking for. What's the word when alcoholics go off booze? Cold turkey, but there's a fancier word for it. I did that in regards to The Witcher 3. I deliberately didn't play it for 2 days after recording my Let's Look At of it. And the reason I did that was because I realised, looking at my desktop, oh, I'm actually running out of videos to upload. I should probably get on that. So I took 2 solid days of just like recording non-stop, so my voice is a little bit wrecked again. But a lot of Bloodborne recorded, did some Monster Hunter, made some good progress in the offline hunts, which is the important part. I now have, if you're familiar with that series, a Y-Stone finally. And also, by the time you see this, you will know that I've started doing a Invisible Ink playthrough. It's not going to be a particularly long game. A playthrough takes like 2 or 3 hours, so 20 minutes apart, you know, it's not going to be huge. But that's something new, and I am eager to try and bring in some new stuff because I get the feeling that people are maybe getting a bit sick of the long-running series. I don't want to stop some of the long-running series, but I do want to bring something else in now that Dark Souls is finished. So you'll have seen that. This will be the first that this is posted on, right? 1st of June. It's my birthday soon, actually. That means that patrons will be getting their shoutouts next Monday, unless I forget again. But I will do it, I just have to wait a little bit. So that will be done. Also, this is making my head feel very, very hot, so I might overheat at this rate. I don't know, I'm feeling the heat. But anyway, to go back to my Witcher story, sorry I got distracted. So yeah, I swore off of it for just 2 days and just knuckled down to record stuff because I needed to do it. And I wanted to as well. But I just went back to it this morning and I started playing it at about 11, and then I kind of looked at the clock and was like, oh, it's almost 3 o'clock. I had stuff to do today. And in my Let's Look At, I said that I thought it was at the finale. Someone pointed out in the comments of that, I think I know where you are, and no you're not. You're about 2/3 through the game, and they were right. The story keeps going, and I'm happy about that. And, well, happy and sad because I thought I was through it and I thoroughly enjoyed it, but it's getting in the way of my work still, so it's weird. But yeah, there's a lot more to see and do apparently, and I can't wait to get back to it. I'm probably just going to jump straight back on after I record this, to be honest. But anyway, before we go through the comments on last week's Let's Chat, which is going to be the main focus as per usual, I do have something to show off, and it wasn't just this thing. You might saw this in the background last week because I found it and kept forgetting to bring it up. You may have seen this. It is a figure, a toy, I guess, of the main character from Final Fantasy The Spirits Within. No wait, no. Was that what it was called? Yeah, it is. What was her name anyway? Aki Ross. It's a toy of that. I didn't buy it. It was given to me by my mother on a trip back from France, if I remember correctly. As in, she bought it in the UK, but it was on the way back, so she wanted to give me a souvenir, and, you know, I'm very hard to buy for. So, she knew that I liked Final Fantasy games, she thought, yeah, right. The thing I want to point out, it's going to be a bit hard to show off without it shining, but look at this. They were struggling to get rid of this. It was, hang on, I hate trying to line stuff up in this camera. So they were trying to get £10 for it, then they reduced it to £5, and then finally, when my mother bought it, it was £1.99. That film was that hated. For the record, I actually remember thinking that movie was just okay. The mistake they made was making a film that wasn't for the mainstream audience who had no interest and no idea what the Final Fantasy brand meant, and they didn't do the type of movie that Final Fantasy fans wanted. They made up for that with Advent Children, in my opinion. I like Advent Children quite a lot, and there's the other figures in the set. I can't remember any of those memorable characters at all. Oh, apart from Sid, of course. Not spelled with a C, though. So that's what I wanted to show off. It was been sitting over there for, I think, a couple of weeks, actually, because I kept forgetting to mention it. I'm not going to open it, although I did look into it thinking, oh, maybe it's a collector's item. No. Nobody cares about Spirits Within garbage. Anyway, let's go back to comments and questions. There isn't actually that many. So let's get started down here. DRC97, if you could combine any two monsters from Monster Hunter, which two would you combine? Also, if you could create a new monster... Well, hang on, let's take it one question at a time so I don't forget. So, mix two monsters together. Devil Joe and Darren Moran or Jen Moran, whichever you prefer. So you would get a big, giant building-sized angry pickle. That'd be very funny. So then you go on to say, if you could create a monster of any type, what would you make, i.e. Elder Dragon, Wyvern, etc.? What sort of elements or powers would it have? I would create some kind of proper wolf. I know you're going to say Zenogre, but that's not what I mean. I mean a proper wolf. A bit like Vicar Amelia or... No, not Vicar Amelia. Spoiler slightly, but the beggar, the murderer in Bloodborne, his true form, if you know what I mean. I want a monster in Monster Hunter that looks like that. That's badass. I'd pick lightning, but that'd put him too close to Zenogre, I guess. So let's say fire. Yeah, there's fire werewolves in Bloodborne. So I mean, that kind of thing I think would play very well into the Monster Hunter universe. From experience, pumpkin flavoured things tend to be a little dodgy, as manufacturers never seem to get pumpkin flavour right. It's actually worth pointing out, even though I've never tried pumpkin, I totally forgot to mention I eat pumpkin seeds fairly frequently, but I don't think that's the same taste or anything like that. What would you say your favourite quote is? I think one of my new favourites is the shoes on the other testicle. Did I say that? Oh, I must... Sometimes I just say things without paying attention to myself. What's my favourite quote ever? I have so many like go-to ones from old Simpsons episodes, Futurama, you know, that kind of stuff. One of my favourites that's very, very vague and most people won't get is "Who's laughing now, Zorak?" I like saying that, and it's a reference to an episode of Space Ghost Coast to Coast when Space Ghost is riding on Zorak's back, I think. I can't quite remember. I think it's the episode that had Dennis Leary on it, if you're familiar with the show, which is one of my favourite episodes of it, incidentally. So I like that because I get it, and like very few people get it, and I can't help saying it. Usually when I get one up on a monster or something, or an enemy, it's one of my favourites. I have plenty more, but I couldn't really... I'll think about it, maybe next time write down a quote to read out. But there's tons. Silly ones, and I don't know, I have serious ones as well, but that's not the mood here. Mr. Trigger Happy next says Horse Skeleton. Also in stores, a new copy of Scholar is £45 for the X-Bone, so Steam is a lot cheaper. That's because it's the PC version. The next gen, or I guess it's just current gen now, isn't it? Their prices are ridiculous. Paying over £50 for a PS4 or an X-Bone game is hilariously badly priced. It baffles me why they think that's acceptable, and I begrudge any time I buy a full price next gen, current gen, whatever you want to call it, game. I do it usually with the knowledge that if I am buying, it's either going to be let's try that again. It either has to be a really good game so it justifies paying what I consider above market value. In the case of like The Witcher 3, I would say that's definitely the case. Or it has to be a game where once I've had my fill, I'll sell it on and get back my money such that the amount I actually paid in the end is fair. That's the way I look at it. That's the way I justify to myself having to pay the ridiculous prices the UK has for PS4 and X-Bone games. But yeah, the PC versions of games are generally cheaper. However, I have noticed this unfortunate trend, or disturbing trend, where certain companies, big publishers, are starting to creep up the price of PC games. They're doing it with special editions and pre-order bonuses and that, but then every so often it's just a bog standard version of the game and the price is just a little bit higher. And it's going to be climbing. It's going to keep on going up and up. They're going to get it to the point that consoles are, because they look at the consoles and say they can get away with it. Now usually the argument on PC is that because piracy is so easy on PC, they have to make their product competitive by keeping the price down so that you don't want to pirate something because they're asking a fair price for what you're getting. I consider, roughly £30-35 to be a fair price for a game. That's my price point. That's why I find it so hilarious when I look at a PS4 game and see that they want 50 or 55. It's insane. Anyway, my head is getting really hot, and I did swear I wouldn't take it off, so let's get through this. Jason Nino says, wearing a helmet on a bike is like... not wearing a helmet on a bike is like not wearing a seatbelt in a car. It's not necessarily a fail-safe for you, but to protect you from other people who are not being as safe as yourself. That's exactly the point I was making, and I agree entirely. I will thumb that up. Someone else has as well. Grinning Owl next, he says, I probably would have been able to make it into G rank this weekend. This is in regards to him leveling up another character because he lost his first. Also, I have an itchy nose. Pardon me. But this month has been super busy, and I had a place to be again. Oh right, yes. On the new character, I found a pretty scary solo strategy. It involves attack up extra large and dual blades. It absolutely tears through enemies without me having to feel guilty about using insect glaive. Fair point. Fill the demon gauge, gauge, and hit archdemon mode and use the forward XA attack to the fullest effect. Also, if you team up with someone using hunting horn, who gives you infinite stamina, or you can just use your own, what do you call them, energy drinks. Infinite stamina dual blades is apparently just ridiculously strong. Iron Paladin says, hey, my Torg and Bracky picture was in that fan thing, the collage I showed off last time. I don't mind that we used it, in fact it makes me happy, but I kinda wish they'd asked permission. It's not like they were doing it commercially, it was just a collage of stuff to do with the channel, but I don't know how they would have got in touch with you. I guess they could have asked me, so yeah, there is a way they could have done it. Kunner K asks, do you support any teams? What sports do you like, if any? And are you going to play Batman on your channel? So, in order, do I support any teams? I assume you mean football, by which I mean soccer, to people who aren't British. Nope, never have, never will, don't understand the appeal of that sport at all. What sports do I like? When I was a kid, I liked basketball and badminton. Nowadays, don't have the physique for it. Am I going to play Batman on the channel? I assume you mean Arkham Knight. I really wish I could. It's a Warner Brothers game. Warner Brothers are crap when it comes to YouTubers unless you're on their payroll, and which means that they do a branding deal with you, they pay you, and you sign a contract that says you're never allowed to be critical about their games ever. I like the games that they publish, but that doesn't mean they're perfect. I will do some Arkham Knight videos, but it'll be limited to challenge mode stuff, same as I've done for the other Arkham games. Can't do the story mode, I can't take the risk, and I don't like supporting publishers who don't support YouTubers. Especially when you have to be on their payroll to get away with it. So I wish I could. I can't. Challenge map stuff will be all there is. Beyond that, nothing. But well, maybe I'll look at it. I think I could get away with a look at it because I can definitely justify review. So we'll see. We'll see. Believe me, I want it because I know I'm going to put a lot of time into it, and I always look for a way to justify putting my time in by saying, oh, I can do it for work. But you know, same with The Witcher 3. Really, I couldn't really justify it. But still. Anyway, so I hope that answered your question. That was the 3. Yes. Ashley Stillman says, seeing as you finished Dark Souls 2, do you have any ideas on what series you might want to start? Well, you'll know by now, Invisible Ink has started. I personally would like to see something similar, but not too similar. If you know of any such things, I would love to hear. By that, I think I mean big open world with lots of secrets. I would love a game like that as well. But I'm honestly not sure what's going to be coming along in terms of new content I want to cover. I'm keeping an eye on a couple of indie games that I'm wanting to maybe cover. There might be an update to Darkest Dungeon coming soon, but I don't believe it's actually finishing the game. It's a fairly big update, but it's not putting in the finale to the game yet. And if I do go back to that, I think I'd rather just wait until it's not early access, to be honest. If anyone knows of any other Dark Souls-esque games, by all means let me know, because I'm looking for that kind of stuff. And yeah, I could go back to, well, I don't want to play Dark Souls 1, but I could technically go back to Demon Souls even though there's no online anymore because the servers aren't up, at least, well, I have the Asian version, so those are definitely down. It's been a long time since I played it, it has not aged well, and fundamentally, the gameplay, you know, the improvements in Dark Souls 2, Bloodborne, they made it better. I mean, you could argue some of the boss fights and whatnot in Demon Souls is still superior. It's been so long since I played it, I honestly don't remember. I don't remember the ideal path through it. It's not a game I really want to go back to. It is an option. I'd love more stuff like Monster Hunter as well, to be honest. I know people are then probably going to say Tokiden. I played Tokiden on the Vita and it didn't grab me. I felt it was very stale, very lifeless. Didn't have the character of Monster Hunter. I don't know what they changed in the PS4, you know, kind of remake, re-release, whatever. I don't think they'll fix the problems I had with it. I didn't think it was a bad game, I just thought it was a little bit lifeless. But I didn't also play it with anybody, so you know that might go some way to explain why. Anyway, we're into the last 3 comments here. Xavier Monod says, part of me is thinking those Kit Kats were holdovers from Halloween. Yes, they were. They actually expire next month. That's why they were cheap. They were selling those big bags for like an extra add-on price of a few dollars. So yes, you were right, they were holdovers. The Deadpool Warrior says, I'm never going to buy or play any Monster Hunter. I was originally going to purchase a Wii U, but for 3U. Then I found out Monster Hunter 4 was a 3DS exclusive, and I decided not to buy a Wii U. And now you don't want to buy a 3DS because it's a small screen, and you need an analog stick to play. Well, you could get the new 3DS, I suppose. I refuse to buy any of the newer... Oh, never mind, hang on, he goes on to this. I refuse to buy any of the newer 3DS or 3DS XL because they just keep on making a new 3DS to sell exclusives for it. Yeah, Nintendo realised that's the way they can make money, by just churning out a new DS every year, and that'll keep them afloat to waste their time with the Wii U. Also, my nose is running. Ugh, dear oh dear. I don't have a cold. Well, actually no, maybe I do. I don't know. Hay fever's been bad. The weather has been terrible though. If it's hay fever plus cold equals me losing, failing hard. Anyway, one last comment. It's from Reaper. He told me he posted this a little while ago before I started recording this actually. Very awesome reaction to pumpkin. I love pumpkin pie, best pie ever. As for something to do, why not invade people and do some PvP in Dark Souls? You know I don't like PvP, that's why I throw myself off the ledge anytime I get invaded in Dark Souls 2. I think one of the series should be a co-op of one of some kind. I always find them funny. Then random question time. You see a horse that says moo, what do you do? I'm tired, lol. Assume that it's a giant disguised, probably. That's a deep reference. I agree that it would be a nice idea to have a co-op series alongside the series where I'm just doing stuff by myself. The problem is finding games. If Crawl had online multiplayer, if Rebirth had online multiplayer, or co-op, you know what I mean, that'd be fantastic, but they don't, so I can't. It's not like I just want to pick a game for the sake of it having co-op. I want something I'll actually enjoy and the people who play with me will enjoy. By the time you see this, we'll have done a little bit of Magicka 2. It's a short game from what I understand, and it's probably not going to make a series, but I was planning on doing an hour of. I might make a series, I don't know. But either way, it's not going to be long form. It's a short game as well. But yeah, I love co-op. I love doing co-op playthroughs as well. It's just finding the games that I and my friends enjoy. Oh, and of course then you've got to factor in, you can actually, you have permission to make monetized playthroughs. Then we all have to arrange if we have the time. It's harder. I'm a bit of a lone wolf, so I do prefer doing my own thing. But I am very aware that people usually prefer the banter of co-op. I also enjoy the banter of co-op. It's fun. It does limit when you can do the actual filming though, because people with 9 to 5 jobs obviously aren't available for my usual recording times, because I usually record during the day in normal work hours, more or less, unless The Witcher 3 comes along. Speaking of which, I'd very much like to get back to what I was doing, because I was at a very key moment and I'm very eager to see what happens. So I think we will call that there. I will do Patreon shoutouts and whatnot next time. This hat will not be seen, probably, unless it's in the background. My head is sweating, seriously. But there we go, I finally found it. I know I promised on like the second vlog I did with the camera that, oh, I've got a cosplay thing I got gifted ages ago, I'll go find it, it's over there. And here we are 3 months later since I started doing them. Oh wait, no, I started doing them in January, didn't I? Oh dear. It's been a while, but at least I finally did it. And I hope it was worth the wait to degrade myself slightly by doing this. And with that, thank you very much for listening. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you for stopping by, and thank you very much for subscribing. 35,000 subscribers is a massive milestone. I am very happy, very humbled by it. And here's to the future. See you next week. Ta-ta for now.